The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, revised down its economic growth forecast for Malaysia amid a gloomy global outlook, as it warns that the world may soon be teetering on the edge of a global recession. In its latest World Economic Outlook update, it said risks to the global economic outlook are overwhelmingly tilted to the downside and cut its growth forecast for the country to 5.1% this year from 5.6% previously. This is after taking into consideration risks arising from the Russia-Ukraine war, inflation around the world, the tight labour market and monetary policies, potential debt distress in emerging markets, China's property sector crisis and geopolitical fragmentation, which could impede global trade and cooperation. The IMF's latest forecast is lower than Bank Negara's projected GDP growth range of 5.3% to 6.3% for 2022. The fund believes taming inflation should be the first priority for policymakers, saying tighter monetary policy will inevitably have real economic costs, but a delay will only exacerbate them. It said targeted fiscal support can help cushion the impact on the most vulnerable, though such policies will need to be offset by increased taxes or lower government spending. Tenaga Nasional (TNB) says it managed to fully restore the supply of electricity in areas across Peninsula Malaysia affected by a power outage since 12:39 p.m. today. The government-controlled utility giant said in a statement that the disruption was due to damaged equipment within the main power intake substation in Yongping, Johor. It said areas affected by the power outage included Petaling Jaya, Cheras and Bangi in the Klang Valley, Bayan Lepas and Seberang Jaya in Penang, Pancho in Johor and Bandar Indra Mahkota in Pahang. TNB apologised to consumers for the incident, which resulted in a 2.2 gigawatt electricity load loss, accounting for about 10% of Peninsula Malaysia's total electricity demand. Undersea Cable Installer OMS Group is said to be weighing a listing on Bursa Malaysia as soon as next year that could raise as much as $300 million, about 1.34 billion ringgit. Citing people with knowledge of the matter, a Bloomberg report said OMS is working with financial advisors on the plan. According to its sources, the company is seeking a valuation of over $1 billion based on strong earnings growth and increased spending among telco operators on digital infrastructure. Deliberations are said to be ongoing, and the size as well as timing of the exercise could still change. In October, Bloomberg News reported that OMS had asked banks to submit proposals for the potential initial public offering and was considering venues including Australia, Hong Kong, Malaysia and Singapore. In response to a query from Bloomberg News, a company representative reportedly said that OMS is exploring an IPO in the region and that following its recent private funding rounds, there has been continued investor interest. IGB REIT saw its second quarter FY22 net property income (NPI) jump year-on-year as it provided lower rental support to its tenants during the quarter under review amid improving retail sales from the economic reopening. NPI jumped 67.4% to 105.72 million ringgit, while revenue grew 57.5% to 133.76 million ringgit. The investment trust, which owns Mid Valley Mega Mall and the Gardens Mall, declared an income distribution per unit of 2.45 cents for the quarter, payable on August 29th. For the first half of FY22, the REIT's NPI soared 70% to 213.42 million ringgit, while top line improved by 45.1% to 267.57 million ringgit. Looking ahead, IGB REIT said the industry still faces several major headwinds for the rest of the year. It stressed that it will stay resilient and remain committed to bringing about long-term value for its stakeholders. Its share price fell 1.85% to end the day at RM1.59, giving it a market capitalization of 5.69 billion ringgit. The Department of Statistics Malaysia says the country's producer prices saw a slower rise in June after accelerating a month earlier, though growth remained at double digits. The Producer Price Index (PPI) measures the cost of goods at the factory gate and is a key indicator of inflation. It eased to 10.9% last month from 11.2% in May this year. Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said in a statement today that although all sectors saw a double-digit jump, save for utilities, the magnitude of the increase has slowed down. He said manufacturing, which has the highest weightage in the PPI at 81.6%, posted a 10% increase in June. The agriculture, forestry and fishing sector booked a rise of 18.1%. Mining recorded an increase of 17.5%, while the water supply sector saw an increase of 2.1%. Prices of electricity and gas supply contracted by 0.2%.